Well, US officials say Russia is at 70% of the level needed for a full Ukraine invasion. Joining us now, the political analyst and professor at Curtin University, Joe Siracusa. Joe, what makes you think that that is right, that they are readying for an invasion, or that it will become inevitable, even though those troops have been there for a long time now?
Well, Pete, good morning. Well, there are 83 battalions there now. That's 23 more since Friday. 17 more are on the way, as well as troops from Siberia and the Far East. So, the circle is closing there, and I have to say this: that Biden has really lost this one. I mean, he was face to face with President Putin about what to do with Ukraine a couple months ago, and in the last couple of weeks, I think President Biden has blinked. I mean, Putin has called the American bluff, the NATO bluff. No one is going to fight over Ukraine. No one's going to fight for Ukraine. Everything is now designed after the fact. So Putin has his way. And let me tell you, Australians should have had a cold feeling down their backs when they saw President Putin sidling up to President Xi at the Beijing Olympics. They were doing more than, opening the games. They were conducting business. And I'm sure that President Putin and President Xi have organized what happens next in the Asia-Pacific area. Keep in mind, these are not natural allies. They share a 4,000-kilometer border. And during the Cold War, that's over Stalin and Khrushchev and Brezhnev, they didn't like each other very much. And Australia should worry a little about this, because Australia is an enhanced member of NATO. In fact, it's on the same short list for NATO membership if it wanted to get there. So now it's in their sights. But look, I think Putin has won this, whether he has to commit those troops in the next couple of days or not. And he probably will. And the reason for that is you can't keep 170,000 troops and Air Force in readiness without doing something with it. And the Ukrainians know that this is coming. I'm very disappointed with American diplomacy. The whole time Putin wanted to talk about first strike weapons on his border and keeping NATO out of Ukraine. It was a very simple kind of thing. It was the kind of thing that solved the Cuban Missile Crisis. We agreed not to invade Cuba if they got rid of their missiles. It was very simple. The playbook was there, but we didn't pay attention to it. All we did was lecture them. And I saw that document the Americans and the NATO wrote back to the Russians that were revealed by Spanish press last week. And it was sort of basic stuff. It was the kind of thing we wrote to the Japanese before Pearl Harbor. We just wanted to get the history book straight. So anyway, I think Biden has failed to do what he wanted to do with Putin. Putin has a free hand to do what he wants to do. And look, Pete, you and I said to you a couple of weeks ago, the day that Putin said that Biden said to Putin that we're not going to stop you from using violence in the first place, was the day that he actually sort of won this war. But I think what's different this time is that the American satellites have picked up this movement. And there is something about military maneuvers where events take over. You can plan all you want, and then after a while, things just hook in. But I think President Putin's trip to Beijing sort of cemented the deal. And I'd love to see one day, as a historian, the secret protocols that they wrote, because I'm sure they signed on the dotted line about what was going to happen in the Far East if something happens in Europe. So now we're looking at a behemoth. We're looking at the Russians and the Chinese are cozied up together, and they're ready to do whatever they have to do to defend each other. And it's a little bit our fault, because we were pretty stupid about how we approached this. Instead of breaking them apart, we gave them every reason in the world to come together.
Okay. Joe, we'll leave it there. Appreciate it, though. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.